In episode 2, we covered the top 2 most important rules for building a superhero physique, which are progressive overload and training intensity. So if you haven't seen that episode yet, I recommend that you start there. Today though, we'll be diving into the next most important factor, which is training frequency, one that most dads screw up, robbing them from serious muscle gains. The reality is that if you want to build a superhero physique, training frequency matters a lot. Too little and you'll stay forever in a plateau, and too much and you might even start moving backwards. Take, for example, the classic BRS Split, where each muscle group is trained once a week. Although outdated, this is a split I still see a lot of men follow, to my amazement, but here's the problem with it. Muscle protein synthesis, which is the process of your muscles recovering and growing after training, only stays elevated for 48 hours, maybe up to 72 hours if you trained really hard with plenty of volume. This means that if you wait 7 days before hitting that muscle again, you're basically wasting half of your week, which will make your progress almost twice as slow, if not stagnant. Now, if you want to build muscle efficiently without spending endless hours in the gym or putting unnecessary wear and tear on your joints, training each part/movement pattern hard twice per week is necessary. This way, you're stimulating your muscles often enough to grow while still allowing them to recover before hitting them again. That being said, optimal frequency also depends on your training experience. Here's what I mean. If you're just starting out, even training a muscle group twice a week isn't enough. The reason being that beginners typically haven't yet developed the ability to train hard enough for that frequency to be effective. As I've said before, training hard is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time to develop. It begins with mastering proper form so your nervous system can efficiently recruit the right muscles. That is why, as a newbie, quick strength gains are not just because of your muscles growing, but also because of learning to perform exercises more efficiently. And next, another part of this skill is learning to push yourself close enough to true failure and not what you perceive as failure. For example, most beginners who join our coaching program think they are 1 to 2 reps away from failure when they are actually 4 to even 8 reps away. This is of course not an effective muscle building intensity zone, and the reason why we insist on form and effort videos as part of our trainees' accountability. That is why for beginners during your first 4 to 6 months, we typically focus on your foundational 3 times per week program, where we drill hard on the essential compound movements like pull-ups, rows, push-ups, dips, squats, and so forth. Once you've been training consistently for about 6 months and you can perform basic exercises with good form while pushing close to failure, you can now move to a more advanced 4-day training split. This is where you can start increasing training volume and include more targeted work for areas like your shoulders and arms. One more than last time. It is also the exact structure that I used in our Underdog training program last year if you want to go back and review it. Finally, after practicing a 4-day split consistently for at least a year, you can now once again step it up.
2 more reps than last time. Not every workout progresses so fast, but sometimes you have good days.
This is when you can switch to a 5 to 6 day per week program that trains every muscle group twice per week while giving you the opportunity to spread training volume as optimally as possible across the week. This is the split I am currently working on that I've also shared in episode 5, which allows me to follow a well-rounded program where no muscle group is left behind. In summary, to build a superhero physique, first start with a strong foundation. For the first few months, focus on mastering key muscle building movement patterns by practicing them at least 3 times a week. I've covered these in a previous episode, which I'll also include at the end of today's video. Maybe I'll make a list of all these in the top comment below as well. As an intermediate, now that you can push closer to failure, I recommend a 4-day split that allows you to train each muscle group hard twice per week. And as an advanced trainee, if you really want to get serious, I recommend moving to a higher frequency plan, training 5 to 6 days a week in order to maximize gains by balancing volume and recovery optimally across your week. Most importantly, remember that a superhero physique isn't built in weeks. It is rather a journey built on patience, persistence, and of course, intelligent programming that allows you to train hard, smart, and frequent enough. In the end, if you stick to it long enough, I would say anywhere between 2 to 3 years of consistent, intelligent training, you can basically look like a superhero who just jumped out of a comic book. Plus, the best part after that is that once you've built it, maintaining it takes about half the effort, and it can last you for a lifetime. A lifetime where you can be the dad who's always in the game instead of watching from the sidelines, whether that's running around with your kids or helping them move into their first apartment. You can always have the strength and energy to be there, fully present every step of the way. Keep on training. By the way, if you're done avoiding the mirror and taking off your shirt at the beach or the pool, if you don't only want to look good, but also feel good, perform better at work, and handle life stress with more resilience, all that without the hustle of getting to the gym and bending your life to somebody else's schedule, then look no further, since this is what we do, having coached over 100 dads the last 2 years. So if you want the structure, clarity, and accountability that a coach brings to the table, and you're ready to dial in your training but also your nutrition, then make sure you fill in the form below. There's a link in the description of this video and the top pinned comment. Right after you do so, we'll schedule a free consultation call, see if we're a good fit, and get to work. So once again, fill in the form, there's a link below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.